Hello, this is Keenan Park, and this is YLOC 4th grade worksheet lesson 10. So for our first section, we have congruence and similarity. And so we're going to be determining whether this blue figure and this red figure are congruent, similar, or neither. So congruency is when they are the same shape and the same size. Like these two triangles would be congruent. Well, if I drew them better, they would be congruent because they're the same shape and the same size. Whereas similar would be the same shape but different sizes, like these two triangles, which have the same shape but are a little different looking. And a little different in size, sorry. And then neither would just be they don't look the same. So for our first example, this one's, although they look somewhat different, they're actually congruent because they're the same shape, it's just one of them is rotated. So this one's rotated 90 degrees from the blue figure. So these would actually be congruent. And if you want a fancy way to write congruent, the symbol for congruency is this symbol, and the symbol for similarity is this symbol, just the top part without the equal signs at the bottom. Number two, we have these two circles. They're both circles, so they have the same shape, but one of these is much smaller than the other, so they're only similar. So I can just put this little tilde here just to say that they're similar. These two shapes, there's a circle and then there's this oval. And as you can see, there are different shapes. So they would be neither. And then these two shapes, as you can see, there's a smaller version inside the other one. So this one would just be similar because it's the same shape, but they are different sizes. Moving on, we're going to be finding the coordinates of these points. We're going to be writing them as ordered pairs. An ordered pair is just, you have parentheses, and you have the x, and then you have the y with the comma in between, and then you close the parentheses. So let's start off with A. The x would be this, how far it is to the right or left. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. So if we go to A, we would say it's 4, comma, and then we would find how much up or down it is, which is the y. If you want to write, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So it will be, you can see it's 5 units up. So it's 4, comma 5. And then you close the parentheses. Same process for number B, or letter B, I guess. 1, 2, 3 to the right, so x equals 3, and then up 1, so y equals 1. So then you would have 3, comma 1. For C, here we're going to the left, and in the left it is the negative direction for x, and down is the negative direction for y. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but make sure it's negative 5 because it's going to the left. So the x value is negative 5, and then the y value is positive 1. So that'd be negative 5, comma 1. D, we go 2 to the right, and then 3 down. So that's x is 2, and y is negative 3. So that would be 2, comma negative 3. Now make sure the y always goes second. Then we have E, that's negative 1, and then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So that'd be negative 1, negative 1, 4, like that. And the F, here we go 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2. So 7, comma 2. Then we'd have G, which is negative 3, and then you can see 5, 6. So negative 3, comma 6. And then lastly, we have H. And H would be negative 1, comma 1, 2, 3. So negative 1, comma 3. And so that would be all of the ordered points for these coordinates. Or ordered pairs, sorry. And then for our last section, we have word problems. Just one problem this time. The coordinates plane, which is what we call the xy plane, is split into 4 quadrants like this. So we have quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And then do you notice anything about the points in these quadrants? Well, for starters, it's important to note that the points on the line are in no quadrant. They're not in a quadrant at all. Only the points inside the quadrant are. And so what you should notice about these points is that it is for points in quadrant 1, they're always both x and y are positive. In quadrant 2, the x is negative and then the y is positive. For quadrant 3, they're both negative. And then for quadrant 4, the x is positive, but the y is negative. So the way I like to think about the order, because it's kind of odd, it's counterclockwise, which is somewhat unusual for us. First off, I always know we start in 1 because that's both positive. And then because you read the x first, I like to think of it that you change the value of the x first. So you go negative and then positive. And then you would just continue from there once you know the direction. So make sure you don't get them switched up. A lot of the time I see people do 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's wrong. And that's all for today. So yeah, thank you for watching.